are you feeling now at this point?
Yeah, well, it's obviously been a challenge for sure. To have a big injury and know you're going to miss the rest of the season is definitely challenging, and then to have a setback is definitely equally as challenging. But really fortunate, we got a great medical staff, here, in Portland that's been helping me out and get me through everything.
What was the setback?
So I had an infection, and it was for the Salt Lake game actually, and I was looking forward to that one. And the fans had actually made a tifo for me, which was incredible. Wanted to go out there and say hello, but I actually ended up in the hospital and had to get rid of the infection. So that set me back a little bit.
But it's all okay now, that part.
Yes, the infection's gone, thank goodness, and just had to get the surgery to get rid of the all the bad stuff in there, and I'm feeling great now, and just looking forward to finally I had started my rehab. I was a couple weeks in, and then I had the setback, so I kind of went back to square one. They put a cast on me, and I had to be a little less mobile.
How did it feel to get the cast off? I saw the video.
It felt amazing. Yeah, that was one of those feelings. It's like you have a splinter in your hand, and you just like you pull it out. You have that satisfying feeling. That was how it felt. And I'd never had a cast before in my life. Never broken any bones like that, or I had to do anything like that. So this has been all a new experience for me. I also had to have a midline put in my arm. I think we talked about that. And have put antibiotics in my body, 3 times a day. So it was an interesting experience for sure.
Did you know immediately when you went down that this could be season ending?
I didn't know immediately. I knew when I got back up and I tried to walk, and that's when I tried to put my heel down on the grass, and my toe wouldn't point, and that's when I knew something's wrong. This is crazy. And I think it didn't hit me until after I got in the locker room for sure.
What was your reaction, I guess, when you heard what the diagnosis was? And, how did you kind of move past that and start focusing on the rehab?
Great question. Well, my wife was with me, so that was really great to have her down in the locker room with me, and to have that kind of support. And then, from there, it was about focusing on the process, as hard as it was, just to say, okay, I understand I'm not going to play the rest of the season. What can I control about getting better and getting healthy, and that's been my focus ever since, really.
Has there, in terms of the rehab, obviously had the setback, has there been, you mentioned there been at least a good side of being at home a little bit with the kids, a little bit more. How's it been not coming to soccer but being at home a lot?
I would call it a strange vacation from work, and it's like I get to be with my family all day long, which has been fabulous, and I've got a fresh perspective, I think, on life, which is I haven't gotten in a long time, which I've really enjoyed. But I also, of course, miss being around the guys. I miss the day to day. I miss the 5v2 for sure.
What's the rehab like right now? What are you doing every day to get better?
Well, not much, to be honest with you. It's one of those. I'm in the stage of rehab right now because of the setback, where I'm not supposed to be super mobile. So I'm supposed to keep my leg up. Every now and again I can do some exercises to kind of mobilize the rest of my body, but there's just not a whole lot you can do.
At this point, what are you expecting with your timeline? What's kind of your goals going forward?
That's a great question. I don't know, to be honest with you, because before the setback we were looking at early next year, and now that I have a setback, I just honestly have no idea. I think it's going to depend really on how the rehab goes, and once I actually start being able to walk and move forward into running, and then contact stuff, I think that's really when we're going to know. I know I'm a fast healer. Historically, I've always bounced back pretty quickly from these kinds of things. So once I sit down with the docs and we really get a good timeline, I think we'll know more.
With the setback, it was like some sort of infection in the ankle that they had to have, you'd already had a surgery, right? And then you had the second one?
Correct. So I had the surgery the first surgery 4 days after I went down in July. And then about 2 months later, a month and 10 days later is when I had the second surgery. And again, it was because I had an infection, and they initially had gone in to just open up the wound and clean it out, and they found it was worse than what they had thought it was. So that definitely set me back and put me in the cast.
How's it been watching the games, or have you been watching?
Oh yeah,
Also?
yeah. I mean, I'm the biggest Timbers supporter there is right now. I'm, I can't go to games. I'm going to try to be at this next one against Colorado. But watching on TV, watching online when they're down in Panama or Costa Rica, and just bleeding for them. Just hoping for the best, and just like biting my nails, like, hey, what's going to happen? Who's going to score the goal? Who's going to make the big play? And just loving being a fan, to be honest with you, because that's all you can do.
And then for you, you have every expectation to be back on the field, even if the timeline is longer than you expected.
Well, I hope so. I definitely am not closing my doors to anything right now, because I think the biggest thing is going to be the rehab, and how do I feel? If I get to a point in time where I'm like, okay, the rehab, I don't feel good enough. Okay, maybe it's time to walk away. But if I'm in the rehab and I feel great, I'm like, you know what? I want to keep going. That's probably what I'll do. Thank you, guys.